So far, everything we've drawn has existed. Perspective? Check. Shapes? Check. Cubes learning how to behave in public? Also check. But today, we're not adding new shapes. We're changing how we draw the lines we already have. Welcome back to Creative Hero Inc., your weekly dose of free drawing lessons. Free as in no money. Not free as in no likes, no shares, no subscribing. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying the cube is watching. So today we're learning about lines. More specifically, line weight. Artists call it line weight, which sounds very technical, very serious, like it requires special gloves. What it really means is this: some lines matter more than others. That's it. But how do we use them? Yeah, that's the tricky part. Draw a cube, which is something I've been doing for a while now, so please allow me to speed this part up. I got bored. Let's skip to the interesting part. Maybe we'll actually learn something today. We can actually categorize lines into 3 types. I call this the rule of 3, because 3 feels organized. The types of lines are light lines or whisper line, soft, sketchy, unsure of themselves. They're for planning, testing, and changing your mind later. Heavy lines or boss lines, confident, bold, and very sure they're correct. These are the lines you keep and never contradict. And the third one, I think there were 3? Aha! Medium lines or probably lines. Not too shy, not too loud. They exist politely in between. So, light, medium, heavy. Like coffee. But we could also categorize lines by light, depth, and importance. So that's another 3? Okay, let's call that the rule of double 3s. But wait, we could also categorize lines by purpose or function, depth and space, texture and surface, direction and energy, edge quality, emotional or expressive quality, by material and tool behavior. Honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure there's a rule of infinite 3s. And maybe a secret 4th one, just to mess with you. Let's assume the light source is coming from this corner. This means that the shadows will fall on the surfaces of the face closest to us. In areas where the shadows are strongest, we want to use heavy, bold lines to emphasize the depth and weight of the shadow. Conversely, on the side facing the light, such as the top corner of the box, we can use whisper lines, extremely light and delicate, perhaps so faint that they are almost imperceptible. The same principle applies to the interior surfaces of the box. Shadowed areas should have stronger, darker lines, while the areas catching more light should have subtle, faint lines. On the sides of the box, as the surface transitions from light to shadow, we can create a gradual variation in line weight, moving smoothly from lighter lines to heavier ones. This variation helps convey volume, depth, and the direction of the light, giving the drawing a more realistic and 3-dimensional feel. By thoughtfully varying line weight according to light and shadow, we not only define the form, but also create a sense of visual hierarchy, guiding the viewer's eye across the composition. We can also emphasize the depth of an object by playing with thin and thick lines. Remember perspective and those mystical vanishing points? Yep, that's the law of the land in drawing, and it never changes. Kind of like taxes or your cat knocking over your coffee. The rule is simple. Lines get thinner as they recede toward the vanishing point and thicker as they come closer to us. This little trick instantly makes your objects pop in 3D, without needing a time machine or special effects. Think of it as giving your drawing a little distance drama. The closer it is, the bolder it shouts, and the farther it is, the shy little whisper it becomes. Last but definitely not forgotten, we have the importance line. This line is your secret weapon for highlighting something or making one object stand out from the crowd. Basically saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm important." Take this image as an example. Notice how the outline and contour lines are bolder around the main character. That's the idea. Those heavier lines separate the character from the background and instantly draw the viewer's eye. Now, in our case, we've only got one object, mainly because I've been a bit lazy. But fear not, we can still give it some importance. By making certain lines slightly bolder, we can make the object pop, or at least pretend it pops. Just imagine it doing a little victory dance, and that's enough for your drawing to feel alive. If this helped, hit like. If it didn't, hit like anyway. It builds character. Subscribe for more drawing lessons. I'll see you in the next one.